First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, and double honor to the elder bishops and apostles from Great Millstone that taught me the truth. This is Galatians chapter 3 and verse 11. It says, "But that no man is justified by the law in the sight of God, it is evident, for the just shall live by faith." Right? And this is something that, we got to constantly remind ourselves is that it's all about faith, right? It's all about belief in the unknown, which really is known. So let's search up what is faith. And I want to get this in the etymology online. So it says faithfulness to a trust or promise, loyalty to a person, honesty, truthfulness, trust, confidence, reliance, confidence, credence. Okay, so faith is having trust and confidence in someone, which in our case, is the Heavenly Father and His Son. So you got to trust that the Heavenly Father is there in everything. When you're down and out, and when you up, in all scenarios, not just because you'll find that in the world is that people only crowd to the Most High when they're struggling. It shouldn't be that way. You should crowd towards Him in your times of prosperity, thanking Him for giving you whatever He gave you. You should call upon Him in your times when you're down, blessing Him for the challenges that He's placed upon you. Okay, because if you have faith, it's all for our betterment, right? The Most High is not just going to put something on you to destroy you, right? It's always to build you up. And, the Most High is the ultimate teacher, right? It says that in Corinthians, how when we are chastised of the Most High, it is for our benefit, not as our carnal fathers, that chastises just because. So let's get that in, I have to actually search it up just because I don't remember. Hebrews chapter 12. Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 6, it says, "For whom the Lord loveth he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. For if ye endure chastening, God dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? But if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons. Furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live? For they verily for a few days chastened us after their own pleasure, but He for our profit, that we might be partakers of His holiness." Right, so we're being chastised by the Heavenly Father first, because He loves us, as a father. He teaches His Son not to do that, to do this. And normally, that lesson is through being burnt. It's through doing the wrong thing and realizing the consequence of doing the wrong thing. So, the Most High, He thinks way out. Right? It says that His ways are above our ways. We can't sometimes understand why we're going through what we're going through, but you have to have the eyesalve, the wisdom, the sight to understand that it's for your benefit, because you believe. So it says, "Now no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless afterward it yieldeth the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby." Right? It's not nice when you're going through it. Right? It feels terrible. It feels, like a pain. It feels like you just keep doing the same thing. And, that's one thing is that us, Israelites out of all nations, and we go through that the Most High will keep making the same mistakes and be hard-headed, rebellious, stiff-necked, because that's how, that's our nature. We being rebellious, stiff-necked, hard-headed, and, the list goes on and on and on. But it's all about, acknowledging your faults, repenting, humbling yourself, and getting better every single day. So it says, "Wherefore lift up the hands which hang down, and the feeble knees." Right? Keep going, because this is a race for those that can endure. This is not a sprint. This is a marathon. And it's very difficult to run a marathon if you haven't trained for it, right? So let's go into Ecclesiasticus chapter 2. And I just want to hit verse 10 on this. It says, "Look at the generations of old, and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in His fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? For the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long-suffering, and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins, and saveth in time of affliction. So, look at the history. When have any that were faithful let down? And the answer is none. The Lord always came through. So, if you think that, if you saw him come through for all these other people, you think that he's not going to come through for you? You that have faith, that endure, that do everything right the best you can, you think he's not going to come through? Of course he is. And that's part of the trial is, how much can you believe that? Can you believe that when you lose it? And then when you get back up and you lose it, and then you lose it again, and you keep losing, can you still believe that he's there with you? That's what it's about. Endurance. So, verse 12 says, woe be to fearful hearts and faint hands, and the sinner that goeth two ways. Right? So you're not supposed to be in that faint spirit of, I'm tired. It's okay to be tired, but it's not okay to stay tired. You gotta somehow make a new plan to keep pushing. You're not supposed to be in that fearful spirit of, fearing this world, because the Most High is in control of it. It says, woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not. Therefore shall he not be defended. Woe unto you that have lost patience, and what will you do when the Lord shall visit you? And that's a big thing, is unbelievers. Also, people that believed and, stop believing. What are you going to do, when the Lord comes back? What are you going to do when these prophecies start taking place? Because there is no hiding. There is no running away. Everyone is going to be met with that judgment and is going to be met with trials and temptations. So what are you going to do? It says, they that fear the Lord will not disobey his word, and they that love him will keep his ways. They that fear the Lord will seek that which is well pleasing unto him, and they that love him shall be filled with the law. They that fear the Lord will prepare their hearts and humble their souls in his sight, saying, we will fall into the hands of the Lord and not into the hands of men, for as his majesty is, so is his mercy. Right? So fear Yahweh, right? Don't fear man, and humble your soul before him. Really humble yourself, right? Think about all your offenses, how you can get better, whether it's ego, pride, greed, lust, whatever it is, you're struggling with them. Tell them, my bad, I messed up, however you do it, and just pray for that spirit to overcome, for him to strengthen you and to keep pushing, because that's what it's all about. So I'll leave it there. Just kind of went through spirit. Hopefully this was edifying. We're down to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai Bashim Makakudash, and double honors to the elder bishops and apostles of Great Millstone at Tommy's Truth. Shalom to your elect. Shalom.